Wake up call, same time. How would I not know how hard it is to do the show I work on? You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you gotta do twice the work to get half the opportunity. But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that's just gonna make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. Because I had to be. I couldn't be average. I couldn't be okay. I couldn't be late. I couldn't complain. I couldn't say no. Now I do.
Right.
Peace and blessings, you ugly mofos, and welcome to another episode of E-Rants. I am your host, Felix Long Trousers.
Hey, Daddy!
All right, let's not waste no more time. Let's get right into this. Guys, we got to talk about Joy Taylor. Not just Joy Taylor, actually. We also talk about Skip Bayless. Not just Skip Bayless, also. We're actually talking about some executives out there at Fox Sports, because it seems like ever since Shannon Sharpe decided to leave them to go to ESPN, they have been just going down in shambles. A hairstylist by the name of Nosheen Faraji, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name. A hairdresser for Fox Sports have just came out just saying that there's been sexual passes at her throughout her tenure at Fox Sports. That has been between 2012 to August of 2024. A lot of crazy stuff have been happening in 2024 when you really think about it, right? It really seems to be the year of outings, and it seems like it's been crossing over to 2025. We have to keep in mind these are all allegations, what I'm about to speak of. So she came out and said that, we got the guy Charlie Dixon, who happens to be My camera just randomly cut off. I don't know if that was like the Fox Sports gods doing something that was weird. Right. But we got to talk about Charlie Dixon, who's the head of content media at Fox Sports, right? Who she said had allegedly grabbed her buttocks at a birthday celebration and has made other passes at her. And she's even spoken about Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless coming in hot, wanting some of that punani nani nani stuff. Maybe there's a reason my camera cut off, because the way I'm going at this. But first, we got to talk about Joy Taylor, right? The woman, the hairdresser that is, has come out and said that Joy Taylor has pretty much smashed her way to the top. And I don't know why. When I hear those type of things, I just automatically assume that it's true. Maybe that's the misogynistic, personality that I have. I'm not sure, but when I see sometimes attractive girls in these positions, especially when sports, I'm just wondering to myself, like, how did she get here? Like, does she really know what she's supposed to do? Now, if you're an unattractive girl in sports, I'm like, oh yeah, she worked her ass off. Yeah, this video is starting off pretty bad. I'm going in too high. This is crazy. But let's first read an excerpt from the lawsuit itself. Mr. Dixon gives Miss Taylor undisputed as a reward for having sex with him. In approximately March 2016, Ms. Faraji met Ms. Taylor, an aspiring sports personality that had recently moved from Miami to Los Angeles for the opportunity of airtime at Fox. At the time, Ms. Taylor did not have a regular position but would fill in on a day-to-day basis when talent was sick or otherwise missed time. Ms. Taylor told Ms. Faraji that she was recently wed, but her husband remained in Miami and that she was lonely in Los Angeles. Ms. Taylor then befriended Ms. Faraji. Lonely in Los Angeles. Oh my goodness. I wonder, when you're lonely, what do you do? I mean, that can be taken anyways. You can play video games. You can play Yahtzee. There's a whole lot of stuff you can do in your life. I'm implying cheating. I'm not sure that even. In approximately May 2016, Ms. Taylor asked Faraji to meet her for drinks in Santa Monica. When Ms. Faraji arrived, she found Ms. Taylor with an older man, Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. An Executive Vice President, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and production on FS1. Ms. Faraji, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. When Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margaritas, Ms. Faraji asked who he was. Ms. Taylor responded that he was just a friend. Following the night, whenever Ms. Faraji would meet with Ms. Taylor for drinks or food, Mr. Dixon would either arrive with Ms. Taylor or show up later in the night and leave with Miss Taylor. He would also buy rounds of drinks and or food. From their body language, Miss Faraji suspected that the pair were sleeping with each other, and although this concerned Miss Faraji, as she knew Miss Taylor was recently married, Miss Faraji kept her opinions to herself. In approximately June 2016, while at work, Miss Faraji noticed Mr. Dixon in the elevator. Surprised by the coincidence, Miss Faraji found Miss Taylor and told her excitedly the guy who was also buying our drinks was in the elevator. Miss Taylor quickly silenced Miss Faraji, explaining who he was. Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that such relationship was unsafe. She has some morals. She has some morals, okay? Let's keep going. Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. Miss Faraji continued to be friends with Miss Taylor, but tried to distance herself as she considered the situation dangerous, as well as morally wrong, as Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were both married. In approximately July 2016, word spread amongst Fox employees about a new show that was going to be a big deal, as it would star Mr. Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, Mr. Sharpe. It was known that Fox was looking for a woman with significant TV experience to also star. Therefore, it came as a surprise when Fox announced that Miss Taylor, who was a bartender and radio host in Miami with very little TV experience, would be the moderator of the new show, a sports debate program, Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Mr. Taylor later disclosed to Miss Faraji that he did not want Miss Taylor on the show, but Mr. Dixon was adamant that Miss Taylor should star. At first, Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner between Mr. Bayless and Miss Taylor, where she arrived in provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner. When that did not change Mr. Bayless' opinion of Miss Taylor, Mr. Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favor to him. Reluctantly, I don't know, I'm struggling with that word. Mr. Bayless agreed to do as a favor to his friends. You know what that means, right? Oh man, you guys know what that means? That means there's a big chance that Miss Joy Taylor was out here doing this with the executives.
Start the music.
She has to use what she got to get what she wants, if you know what I'm saying, right? Hey, like I said, these are just allegations. We're not sure, but I won't want to show you guys this because one of Joy Taylor's podcasts came out. She said these wild things, and it almost seems like does this match up a little bit? I'm not sure.
These hypotheticals have got us in a chokehold, and we must free ourselves. It's fun to argue about. It's fun to talk about what you would do in this scenario, or would you leave the game if the seats were high, or if a man took you this place on a first date, what you would do. And I'm telling you, like, every interaction that I have with people now, in some way or another, these things come up. Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money, you're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this woman ain't because women this and men this, you're moving forward with this person.
No, you know my favorite hypothetical, because it's so ridiculous, is when you ask anybody if they would do something outrageous for like $1 million and they say no. It's like, okay, would you do it for 2 million? I mean, would you do it for what's the number? Like, anytime you add money into a hypothetical, people love feeling good about themselves by saying that they wouldn't do it for the money, but it's literally only because it's a hypothetical. If you saw this $1 million in front of your face and I said, do this, are you doing it? So I don't even know if hypotheticals are real indicators of the situation that's being discussed, because I'm starting to think people only use hypotheticals to lie about the circumstance.
Of course, it's on a podcast, so you guys have to understand, if you hold a microphone to somebody long enough, they start saying wild and crazy things. That could mean nothing, right? Even though I somewhat do agree, a lot of times if you tell somebody something outlandish to do for like a huge sum of money, they might say no until the money is right in front of their face. Why do you think all them Instagram models going to Dubai getting their chest crapped on by Habibi guys? Why do you think that's such a huge thing? I mean, when the dinero is up front, it sometimes can speak volumes. but it also shows your moral character. It's ridiculous. And also makes me wonder if Taylor Rooks is out here doing something crazy for some change. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. It does not stop there. You guys have to understand, you can't be trusting hairdressers with deep and dark secrets sometimes, man. The hairdressers are always on their eyes on a pivot. That's why you can't go to them. You got to go to a barber. A barber will keep your secret to the grave, to the tombstone, right? So there's another situation that Joy Taylor actually, allegedly, may have done something strange for a show. It was supposed to be strange with some change, but I should have thought about this before I even said it, because I feel like there's something that rhymes with show. Miss Taylor might have done something with Acho. Emmanuel Acho, that is. Let's read. Miss Taylor again used her sexuality to get on a show. In approximately February 2020, wow, this is recent. She's a go-getter. Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Acho, Mr. Acho. To you, Miss Faraji did not know Mr. Acho, but could tell that the two were romantically involved. So did he. A few months after meeting Mr. Acho at lunch, Miss Faraji noticed him in the hallway while at work. Miss Faraji later asked Miss Taylor if Mr. Acho also worked at Fox. Miss Taylor confirmed and explained that she wanted Mr. Acho to eventually recommend her on the show Speak for Yourself. Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that she should probably not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man that may become very angry. Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her. She would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent. In approximately September 2022, Miss Taylor started to work on Speak. Miss Taylor requested Miss Faraji to do her hair. Around August 2016, Miss Faraji attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband and Mr. Dixon and his wife. During the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious that Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having a sexual relationship. Soon after the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband found evidence of the inappropriate relationship and divorced Miss Taylor. In approximately September 2016, Undisputed started. This is actually crazy when you think about it, because that means she gave up her relationship for money and fame. Wow. We don't know if this is true. Miss Faraji could be looking for a payday for all we know, right? But this is the stuff, when I hear these stories, I wonder, how hard did you work to get in this position, right? And you even have guys like Mr. Acho, Emmanuel Acho, ex-NFL player. He had clips that he's talked about how much, he feels and respects for Joy Taylor. And it makes me wonder.
Just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you, and hope y'all tune in 4:30 to 6 Eastern every day starting next week.
I'm telling you, hey, listen, anything is possible. Anything is freaking possible at this point. Like I said, like when I hear women, a lot of women, not all women, but a lot of them come out and say they don't understand how hard I work, especially when they're attractive. I'm just being real. Something about attractive women and high status, to me, it just seems something is off, right? I know, just because she's attractive, does that not mean that she get... Yes. There's outliers. There's outliers for the most part. When I see girls who are very attractive and they're going far in some of these spaces, I sometimes wonder, like, how did you get here? Like, what did you do? It's I know my misogynistic nature, you might be like, oh my God, Felix, are you saying that women are inept? The thing that's really crazy to me is this is true, and Joy Taylor is even holding that over some of these executives' heads, which it makes me go back to like the whole situations with like Weinstein and all of them with the Me Too movement and everything like that, right? People are going to think this is crazy, right? And this is not excusing Weinstein. He's a terrible guy and all that stuff. But this is what I was saying a while back, that a lot of these joints were participants. They were willing to do what they had to do in order to move up. Right? And they're always trying to make the woman seem like the victim, saying, oh, well, she was scared of what the big guy would do. No. You could have said no. You could have said no. You didn't want to say no because you wanted to move higher and reach the skies. You were doing whatever it took to get up there, right? But now you want to expose the guy who helped you, not saying that it was right. I want people to understand that, because it's going to sound like, are you excusing it? No, I'm not excusing it. Well, I'm just saying, have a little bit of morals. Right? Because to me, honestly, people might not agree. To me, you're equivalent of adult entertainer, right? To a certain extent, you're willing to drop your morals in order to get to a spot that, like, honestly, it doesn't matter how much you try to, swing it. You didn't really have to do, right? Let your talent speak for itself, or go somewhere else. There's other places that you can go to. I just never understood when people were like, oh, well, she was in a bad spot. Like when girls be like, oh, I had to be a stripper to pay for college. Like, no, you didn't. Like, no, you didn't. What would the world be without strippers? So, like, if there was no strip clubs, what would you do? You would, what? Like, what? We got to talk about the guy, Skip Bayless. He is in shambles at this point, right? Because she has come out, the hairdresser that is, and said that this guy has been trying to get in that thing bad. Like, I'm talking about bad. He wanted her. And this is making me interested to see how this young lady looks. So she must be beautiful, to be honest with you, right? This, once again, not excusing this video. I don't know. Can I even upload this? But this guy, Skip Bayless, wanted it very, very bad that while she was working for Undisputed as a hairdresser, he made many advances at her. He pretty much was telling her, like, listen, I want that. In fact, he went as far as even offering her $1.5 million.
Gentlemen, silence.
To get into that Punani Nani, which I'm not going to lie to you. When I heard that part, I was kind of wondering, like, okay, is this story real? Like, is this story real, man? $1.5 million. Like, really, who do you think you are? Like, I really want to know, like, who
$50 million? And who you think you kidnapped, Chelsea Clinton?
She must be drop dead gorgeous. Because $1.5 million, you can go to the strip club and be like, hey, listen, let me get, all of them. Like, what are you talking about? Let me get all of them. 1.5 million? You can get a high class escort at that point, man. You could get the creme de la creme. 1.5 million. And you're telling me he wants to pay that on a hairdresser? That's why I said she got to be beautiful. She got to be top to bad is bad. Like, I'm talking about runway model. This is a single mother who's coming out and saying this, by the way, right? And this is not to discredit her because she's a single mother. And sometimes single mothers are known to make bad decisions in life. But I'm just saying, like, 1.5 million, he offered that to you. Why you? It's just something about that part is maybe it wasn't 1.5. Maybe it was a language barrier or something like that. And it was really 150,000 or something, which is still outlandish. It's still outlandish. We got to see a picture. I'm going to try to do deep research and try to see if I can find a picture of this woman. But no, it doesn't matter how good she looks. No joint is worth $1.5 million unless he was going to have her all year as some type of, I don't know, on-call person. Like, anytime he feels it, like, hey, yeah, come over to the crib or something like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. So that must make me feel like, is this all a big money grab just to make? But hey, she might have evidence. As time will tell, we'll see what goes on. It's crazy. She's like, he made the advances. She's even told him, like, hey, listen, like, this is not good. You're married and everything. And then he came up, told her straight up, like, listen, aren't you Muslim? Like, Muslims are allowed to have like multiple wives. So like, hey, he's basically saying like, hey, listen, let's get it cracking.
Whoa, Skip.
So yeah, Charlie Dixon, all of them. It's like, I think there's 14 people in this lawsuit. She's even come out and say Joy Taylor, ever since they stopped being friends, she's been making fun of her name and other things like that. So I don't know. Maybe she has bad blood with Fox Sports. But she worked there a very long time, guys. Very long time. I'm talking about she just stopped working in August of 2024. Then the lawsuit came out in December, I believe. December or November of 2024. So it was kind of like, all right, Slim, you've been working there for like 12 years. I mean, that's a long time to sit through a lot of that stuff. That's why I'm wondering a little bit like, okay, son, like, what is there some type of vendetta you have against, or are you taking something out of the Joy Taylor handbook right there? Like, I don't use this against them, because I don't understand how you have all these passes at you, but you continue to still work there. Felix, are you blaming the victim? Listen, bro, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. Even Joy Taylor. No, man, this stuff might not even happen. Joy Taylor could have probably really worked her ass off to get to that position. Hey, maybe the situation with Skip Bayless is true. If it is true, he didn't offer 1.5 million. He probably offered money, but not 1.5 million. I think she's gassing that up to make it seem like, hey, I'm hot stuff or something like that. I'm not sure. Though. But look, I'll keep you guys posted. Let's figure out how this goes down, because if they settle, that doesn't mean guilt. That doesn't admit guilt. But I mean, hey, if I was them, I'd take this to court if they're really innocent. But if this goes through discovery and they find something wild and wonky, hey, this might be time for them to go down. You know what I'm saying? But hey, maybe I'm tripping. Let me know in the comments below. Let's conversate. Let's talk about this. Maybe I'm just a misogynistic bigot that always sees the negative in a lot of these situations, and I want to see the world crash and burn. I don't know. But peace and blessings, you ugly mofos. And I'm out.